Hey guys, it's Griffin. In this video, I'm going to be doing a full walkthrough A through Z about chatting. This will cover everything there is to know about chatting and what I am doing exactly in my agency to become a profitable agency owner and also have a 7-figure chatting team behind my back. So I know any traffic that I generate with marketing is getting well handled and properly used to its best ability through the chats. So without any further ado, let's jump right into this. Part 1 is intro to chatting. Before you even hire a chatter, or write scripts, I need you to understand one thing, and that's that chatting is sales psychology. It simply is. You're convincing that fan, subscriber, person to purchase something that you want them to purchase through chats. So this video will go a lot more in depth, just past the chatting scripts, past the chatting do's and do nots, into triggers, into psychology, into boy versus girl relationships, and how to actually sell profitably. So this is not about sending as many messages as possible. This is about building desire, controlling pacing, and maximizing the customer's lifetime value. Every message has a purpose, and most chatters ruin that purpose by doing the following. Using generic language like babe or horny, slut, cum. I see it all the time. It is overused, it is for the past, and it does not work as well anymore. Asking for sales too fast, talking like a bot, and also lacking structure or rhythm inside of these combos. It just feels stale, it doesn't feel like an experience, and ultimately you're not going to make that much money. The role of chatting, why we even have chatters, it's responsible for 70 to 90% of the model's revenue. If that number surprises you, I'm pretty sure and pretty confidently say that you've never run a successful agency, because it's not the content, it's not the marketing, and it's not vaults that make the money. It is the chatting. For example, a $10 sub can easily, and I seriously mean easily, turn into a $200 plus buyer if you know how to build rapport, time PPVs correctly, layer desire and imagination into that fan, and handle any objections that they have like a pro. And it is my job to teach you all of those and the fundamentals in this video. So with that being said, I want to show you with a quick example how important chatting is for your model's revenue. This is a quick example that I have laid out. We took this model right here that we signed late March from $6.5K per month with a low barrier to entry page to $19,000 a month in 2 months with adding our chatting ratios, and of course doing the due diligence on the traffic side as far as Instagram, TikTok, providing us with enough work and enough subscribers to generate this revenue. But in less than 2 months, we've generated $19,000 for this model, and you can see right here, subscriptions is a little less than $400, and the messages has over $18,000. So you can clearly see that with chatting, you can become a profitable agency. Even if you have a low barrier to entry page, a free page, anything like this, you can become profitable very quickly, very easily with the fundamentals of the right chatting. So with that being said, it's my job in this video to teach all of you watching the fundamentals of chatting without all the bullshit of OFM gurus that they preach today. I first also want to preface that if you cannot put aside the time to watch this video, I am sure it is a long one, you will most likely never have the resources and patience, more specifically, to build your own 7-figure chatting team. Also, if you are new or starting, I want to also say that this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This industry is one of the most unstable and fast-paced, more or less changing industries of any online business model, and it is important to note that this is not a get in for 1 month, make 20 grand and leave. With this business model and specifically chatting, it takes time, learning, mistakes, and a bunch of experience to actually make that money. So, quick note, if you are starting out, to all my beginners and would like to gain access to more information, learn more, and a lot of free resources, I do have a private Telegram community where we have over 500 founders. You can find that link in the description. It's right here, griffinofm.com/OFM-community if you'd like to join. So, moving on to part 2, which is the first actual part of this section, which is hiring your first chatter. Most people mess this up because they try to outsource chatting before they've mastered it. They try to send it on to somebody else before they do it themselves. You cannot train somebody to do something you've never done. I want to give you an example. Think of a high school football player and his coach. This coach has played, lost, won, and experienced things that he can pass through to his football players, aka in this situation, you are the coach and your football players are the chatters that you hire. So, finding these chatters that you want to hire, your first choice is going to be Telegram groups. If you want any sort of access or for me to send you these Telegram groups, join mine, send me a DM in the group chat, and I will get back to you as quick as possible with a group list of Telegram groups that have anything and everything to do about OFM hiring, jobs, VAs, chatters, everything like that. And our second choice is going to be job boards, Upwork, onlinejobs.ph, and Reddit. Now, I don't necessarily love these just because you get a lot of lower quality people in here, and then also people who don't understand the space 100%. but stick to the first choice. There's thousands and thousands of groups and even more people inside of those groups. And ultimately, if you send these messages and follow up with these people, you will find chatters. So now that you know how to find the chatters, you know the area, the screening process looks something like this. You want to collect their typing speed, their internet speed, their comfort level with not safe for work content, and then grammar and tone. Now, on the typing speed, look for a little bit something above 45 words per minute. The internet speed, download should be above 40, upload should be above 5, comfort with not safe for work content. A lot of people say yes, but then they ghost like the next day, 2 weeks from now, because they're uncomfortable with it. So really try and drill in the fact that this is a daily job with not safe for work content, and that if they're not okay with that, you will not get hired. And then lastly, grammar and tone, knowing that they know how to talk like a person, act like a person, and then more specifically and more importantly, act like a girl. So if those all pass the screening process, then you want to get them into the application, which is a short written application asking them preferences, what they've done, experience, everything you'd like to know, and then hopping onto a live call for the typing test, and then also just checking out their vibe, seeing how they act, how they respond. Remember that you are hiring a team. You're not just treating this person like a Filipino, even if they are, but you are hiring a team. You want to make sure that this person is motivated, dedicated, wants to work, and has a motive for doing so. And then lastly, give them, after they pass the test, you've trained them, a 2 to 3 day trial with feedback and training on top of that to ensure that they don't mess up in the early stages, and you can actually give them early advice and criticism if they have issues. So if they pass and they do good with the trial, onboard them into your Notion and then schedule the shifts. I also want to give you all a free resource. If you are already managing multiple chatters and you have a few models and want to scale the back end of your operations faster, or take what you already have, 5 to 20K, to the next level of 30 to 70K per month, then I have an opportunity for you. My personal agency, UnityLink, opened up a partner application that you can go down in the description and fill out. Now, I will say this is for experienced agency owners only. We do not need beginners. We will not partner with beginners or people that just have one model and they want to give it to us and let us scale it. That is not how this works. If you have an overload of volume or you're not doing something that you think that we could handle for you, I would love to talk, chat. So fill out the application and I'll get back to you within 48 hours with that. So next part, aside from hiring, is rapport building and energy control. This is where we get into the juicy stuff, how to actually chat. So before you sell anything, you need to make the buyer feel like he's connecting with someone real. Building rapport, I believe personally, is what separates these 6-figure agencies and these 7-figure agencies. Being able to control rapport and attention long-term whilst running a GFE experience is the key to success inside this industry. Subs don't buy because of hot content. They buy because the model made them feel seen, desired, and wanted. This is so much deeper, as I was saying earlier, than just the normal chatting, horny, babe, slut. All that is from the past, 2020, 2021. We are into a new era. There's a new way to make the most amount of money, and I'm about to teach you it, like I said. So the golden rule with building rapport is being a character, not a customer service rep. We do not want repetitiveness. We want to see personality. We want to see engagement, curiosity, and a bunch of other feelings inside of our model and also replicated with the fan. So with that, your tone while typing should be flirty but not thirsty, personal without being clingy, playful while having a purpose, and personality filled and consistent. What I mean by this, show emotions. Get upset, get sad, get happy. Have a personality aligned with your models that you train and hire your chatters to act on. So when doing this, I want you to avoid overused terms like I was saying earlier, babe, horny, slut. I will show you conversations later on that you will just see zero babe, horny, slut, come, anything like that, and we'll sell over a $500 script with ease. It honestly comes easier without having to overuse those words and sound like a bot just trying to squeeze money out of people. So instead, use pattern interrupts. What these are is switching the energy of the conversation into something else, creating an unexpected feeling with you and the fan. So it makes the convo feel a lot more personal. It makes it feel more one-of-one, and it doesn't sound like everybody else on OnlyFans. Things like this can be said like, you're actually kind of interesting. You're fun. Most guys on here are weirdos. Having the contrast between the person you're talking to and everyone else on her page, even if you say it to everybody, will make that person feel more one-of-one than just another copycat fan that is loaded up into her page. These lines disrupt the expected flow and create something called novelty, which is in what creates dopamine, which creates more attention for your model. And then that ultimately drives more sales, which means more money for you. So why would you not want to do it? Moving on, I have a literal fucking magic trick for y'all to use. Use their name. It is one of the easiest plays that you can make, and it creates literally such a big difference inside of the chats. So people are psychologically wired to respond to their own name. If you shout in a crowd and you choose to say one word and you want only one person to turn around, what are you going to say? Their name, right? To get their attention, create that spark. Who's calling me? Who wants me? And using that inside of OnlyFans chatting is going to be a huge beneficiary when wanting more sales. Saying Nick instead of babe or baby or daddy immediately makes a convo more intimate. Have your chatters find and store their name inside of the note sections of Inflow. So it's super easy to do. Load it up into Inflow and just train your chatters to collect the normal information that you would on these fans and store it in the notes so all of your chatters can know to do this. Obviously, don't overuse this. Don't say their name in every single sentence, but say it when it is appropriate. So a couple messages that we use if the fan is lacking or doesn't want to show their name, you can say, what's your name, by the way? Maybe I'll be moaning it soon. Something flirty, something light that doesn't seem like you're trying to collect their name for a reason is always good. So the next thing I want to talk about in this section is push and pull energy. This is huge. Most chatters either give too much energy or don't give enough energy. You need to have rhythm and know how to flow. Just like a dick. You need to be on and off all the time. So build up tension and then pull them away. Get them curious and then reward. Give attention and then leave and come back with a teaser, right? Things like this is what's going to make every single person in your model's page go fucking crazy for her when she's chatting and when your chatters are online inactive. So a simple example of something that you could do for push-pull energy is, I was going to tell you what I'm wearing right now, but you're being too quiet today. Or I would tell you what I'm doing right now, but yesterday you didn't really feel like you wanted to talk. Having emotions and genuinely acting like a female, giving this push-pull and receptive energy with the fan will create a more valuable and desired feeling for your model's content. Another one is, I literally just got out the shower. You're going to regret not being quicker, or you're going to regret not wanting me more. Things like that. These things that I'm telling you build anticipation and teach the sub that their behavior is what influences access, just like a real relationship. And that is the exact point that we're trying to run on these pages, which is the girlfriend experience, really creating that genuine, intimate virtual sex. Next, if you want extra practice on anything like this, again, I want to preface that I do have a Telegram community. You can join in there, ask any questions about anything that I'm covering. So you'll also get access to resources that we use to train our chatting team. If you're interested in that as well, that's in the description. So next part, sexting and PPV sales strategy. Let's get into the part where creators either print money or leave thousands on the table. It is no other way to putting it. That is what happens. And I'm going to teach you how to print the money and avoid leaving thousands on the table right now. So framework is the most important. Sexting isn't random. It's a narrative designed to trigger purchase behavior and purposely drive sales repetitively. And what that means is having a good setup and structure that your chatters know, you train them on, and that they can follow to handle any objections. So most sexting flows should follow a structure something similar to this: a flirty setup, getting them going, a teaser build up, light sexual hint, sparking their curiosity, their first PPV drop, $9 to $35, depending on the sub price, their previous spending history, escalation, so more intensity, higher sexting, playful challenge, and then a higher ticket PPV. So this is your $50 to $100 towards the end of the script. And then also finishing with a cliffhanger or compliment, which boosts the retention greatly. And then lastly, funneling back into it and repeat. This is a great way to get extra money that you don't leave on the table. And what I mean by this, let's say if your model has a bed script where she is undressing on the bed, full masturbation on the bed, and then she goes to clean up. You can funnel from that bed script, even if you bought the full A through Z with it, you can funnel that into a shower script of her cleaning up. It could be a totally different day, totally different script, but as long as you have the same nail and hair style, same nail color, same hairstyle, it is going to work. And honestly, it just has another lucrative opportunity for that fan to spend a lot more money. So also really quickly, I want to preface that I see you guys charging PPVs like $9.67, shit like that. We are not running a flea market, all right? This is a sexual aspect. This is a person. Quit with the $9.45 PPVs. Quit. Solid numbers, make them simple, and have good prices, all right? It's not about sending $99.87 PPV, right? $35, $9, $15, $27, things like that. Forget about the cents. Forget about all that shit. price it normally, and just send the PPV. We'll go into pricing and what to say when sending PPVs a little later in the video, but I just wanted to preface that early. Next point I want to cover is that timing is everything. Do not drop PPVs too early. If you send a $40 video before the sub is even warmed up, you will kill the rapport and you will look like a dumbass. It is just simple, plain. Let me give you an example to prove my point. If I walked into a car dealership and I wanted a Lamborghini, let's say, right? And the salesman comes to me and I say, hey, I'm looking for a Lamborghini, not too rushed, but I just want to check out my options. And that salesman goes, here's sign the paperwork, here's the paperwork for the Lamborghini. I'm not going to want to buy the car. I'm going to feel disrespected. It's going to be a weird relationship between me and the salesman. And so what I mean by this is rapport. That salesman's job from that point on, he is trained on getting to know me, getting to know what I like, knowing what my price points are, and then acting accordingly to what information that he gathered. And you need to do the same inside of the chats. So our personal rule on this is that using 8 to 12 messages of build up and building rapport before dropping that PPV, and only drop it if they are receptive to those previous messages, especially with new subs. But again, never drop until receptive. But that is our good rule of trying to see 8 to 12 messages worth of seeing how well this fan is receptive of what you're trying to get them to do. Starting with light fun, like you're cute but look like trouble, I bet we'd have fun, or no way, you actually look like your profile picture, and then slowly shifting into a little bit more dirty, a little bit more sexting, and just dropping that hint that you were wanting to do that. And then after that is when you want to drop your first PPV sale. Now, next, PPV looping. This is for my big earners in the OnlyFans space, and this is what's really going to print money for you boys. So once someone buys, it doesn't mean that the money is gone. Don't leave them hanging with more. We want to drain every last dime that these guys have in their wallet. So if you just finished up a script, you sold the whole thing, maybe they spent $400. Follow up instead of like just thanks baby, have a good night, things like that. Follow up like, okay, if you like this, you're 100% not ready for this next one, right? And if you have done a full masturbation script, even PPV looping for those still work with, like I'm saying, looping back into a shower cleanup script. That is another example of PPV looping, or looping back into, I have this video from the other day, but it's really dirty. I don't know if I want you to watch it. He's going to say, sure, send it. You're going to send it. Be like, I don't know if you really want to see that. You can create a desire around you not even wanting people to see it. And that is a huge beneficiary when trying to PPV loop back into another sale. So the sale doesn't end after the first video. Like I said, you can stack 3 to 5 PPVs in one combo if the rhythm is right. And that is the only way that that's going to work and sound normal with the fan. So this screenshot is from June 26th, day of filming, like I mentioned earlier. This is one new fan that joined our page today, and our chatters managed to squeeze $355 out of this user right here. Now, I will say this is not a very, very common occurrence, but of course we usually do sell around that $50 to $100 mark to our new sub that actually have intentions on purchasing, but we did squeeze $355 out of this guy after 1 hour of joining our models pages, which was fucking insane. So tips for this is, if the model is about to go shower or go out, use it as a soft cliffhanger. Like I said earlier, I'm hopping in the shower. If you want to see what I'm wearing after, you better behave. Getting them ready, testing them, just seeing how they respond to that and how receptive they are, so you know how to play the bigger picture. This is what I was talking about earlier. If the model chatter just finished a bed masturbation script, then funnel script 2, like I was saying, into the cleaning up script. And also, multiple messages instead of one funnel to the next part is much better. This shows more personality. It's less bot-like. Real girls do it, so why should you not? And it also gives the chatter more room to fuck up. Like, with all honesty, these chatters will fuck up. They're gonna send weird messages sometimes. So if they're constantly sending messages and 95% of them are good, then that 5 that mess up is gonna be overlooked. It's not a big deal. So more messages means more room for mistakes, but of course you do not want to try and make these mistakes. So in my example here, I have, holy shit, I know we just did that whole thing, but I'm still somehow, I'm cleaning up in the shower and oh my God, I'm soaking, right? Sending a message like this after that whole bed masturbation script might get him back in the mood, might want him to go through the whole shower script with you. So if you are interested in gaining access to sexing structures, just because I personally believe that we have some of the best scripts in the industry, if you're interested in knowing more and seeing how the frameworks that we use in our agency, I have them available in my Telegram. Send me a message in there, join the weekly calls that we do, and we can talk for hours, answer any questions about that. So Next part, which is part 5, and that's the chatter's do's and don'ts. Here's what most chatting teams fail. Not because they're lazy, but because they treat it like a numbers game, not like a psychology game, and that has a lot to do with these do's and don'ts that I'm about to tell you. So, do use the name often. Do match the energy, but lead and stay in control. That is very important. Adding 1 to 2 teasers before the actual PPV and also free gifts after the sale. Also a great way to increase retention and also boost sales. This next point, I think, is one of the most important do's in a chatting team, and that's compliment creatively. So they are tired of joining OnlyFans girls and having girls lie to them, telling them that their dick is the biggest thing they've ever seen. They're the most beautiful guy ever. They want him to fuck them, XYZ. Everything like that is bullshit. They know it's not true. And if they do, they still have that subconscious that they're lying, right? And so saying things like you're honestly distracting is different. It's going to spark something in their heads to be like, wow, this girl actually does pay attention. She actually does know me. She feels like what I'm looking at. And so it's a great way to do what I said earlier, as in boosting retention and making more sales from a specific person. Next, leave cliffhangers, even if it's in mid-convo, and then also mirror real human reactions. So small talk, mood shifts, emotions, things that a normal girl would do. Now the don'ts, use the same message for every sub. Please do not do mass messages like this, and please do not do welcome messages like this, and please do not just randomly say this to everyone. Like I noted here, this dead ass pisses me off when I see agencies train chatters to use more emojis, say horny more, say slut more. It literally is killing your retention, your subs, your realness of the model herself, everything. I hate it. So moving on, don't mass message bundles with $1.99 deals, thinking having $9.57, like I was mentioning earlier, or $18.47 is way better than $9, $15, $69. It's not. Keep the price right here. Always $9, $15, $69, simple prices. Like I said earlier, we're not running a thrift shop. Overpriced or underpriced based on desperation. Explain the PPV in detail. It kills the mystery. It doesn't make them want to buy more. Trust me. Send too many emojis or caps, like I was saying, and then spamming without rhythm. It burns the account and kills the lifetime value. So, example, do not do this. Watch me get wet and finger myself. 2 emojis, 2-minute video, and then also has a weird ass price. Don't. Say, don't watch this unless you're ready to misbehave. I mean it, right? $69 locked. Simple. Or even calmer than that. Like, that's honestly something that I wouldn't even say. Like, that's almost too much. I would just say something about the video, but this is just the example that I came up when creating the training. So what I want you to get from this is that you're inviting curiosity instead of selling porn like it's a sale at Walmart. It really does feel like it. And I don't know how agency owners don't see it, but if you are this agency owner and you're training your chatters this way, please switch immediately. So next point, energy equals currency. One of the biggest mistakes chatters make is giving away energy like it's free. The truth is that mystery and pacing makes your content feel more valuable. You want your subs and fans 24/7 thinking, is she thinking about me? Is she doing this for others? Why does she say don't open it? Things like this. Having questions and having attention on you is so beneficial. As a marketer and as someone who's been in the marketing field for years and years, I have learned one thing, and that is that attention and curiosity are not bad. Whether it's bad attention, good attention, stable attention, fucking any sort of curiosity on top of that is a good beneficial thing, because it is causing people and fans to subscribe to your model, therefore texting her more if you know how to create that feeling inside of the chats. And that is the emotion that you want in the buying window, not logical breakdowns or menu list of things that she does. So next, following that, is give gifts, not discounts. A perfect way to build rapport is, I'm not supposed to do this, but I'm sending this one for free. Don't tell anyone on my page I did this for you, Nick. Things like that are going to boost your retention and your sales from that person so much. Like, this information that I'm giving you is going to take your chatting and the agency that you have right now to the next level if you actually implement what I'm saying. Gifts build connections. Discounts build entitlement, and I need you to know the difference. Gifting is going to build a good feel-good relationship between you and the fan. Discounts are going to feel like a workplace almost, like they're trying to get you for cheaper, which is never something that you want. Again, if you're interested in scaling faster, we all train chatters like I'm training you right now on this exact rhythm that I'm showing you, with no spam, no desperation, with just a clean, studied conversion strategy. So if you are interested in working for our agency, more or less partnering with our agency, If you are somebody who is interested in white label, outsourcing, or just want to partner with us, and like I said earlier, have an overload of volume or a lack of something in your agency, you can apply to partner with our agency. Link is in the description, completely free to fill out, and my team will get in contact with you within 48 hours. Part 6, objection handling like a closer. Every sub has objections, and most aren't real, they're just stalemates. I promise you, I worked in sales, I've been in sales for 4 years now. Every objection is a stalemate of something that can be solved or reframed, and that is exactly what I want you to do. Here's the mindset. Don't fight it, reframe it. It's as simple as that. To prove my point, I'm giving you some common objections that I see right here and how I would reframe them. That's too expensive. To be honest, I wasn't even sure if I should send you this one. It's kind of one of my favorites. Maybe later. That's fair. Just so you know, if you wait too long, I might lose the confidence. Or I guess, but I don't know if I'll still want to. Having a reframe mindset built into yourself and your chatters when you are chatting on pages is going to allow you to take all of these objections that you will inevitably get and turn them into sales rather than pussying out and not knowing how to chat properly. So the goal is to keep the desire alive without creating any sort of altercation or resistance. And you do that by agreeing softly, but then reframing with curiosity or scarcity around your product. Next point is emotional anchors are greater than logical arguments. So if a sub said that I've already spent too much money this week, we know it's a very common objection that we get, happens all the time, don't have enough money, too broke, XYZ, we don't care. This is what we do. Then I shouldn't even be talking to you right now, right? Push them out, create that scarcity that, okay, if you don't have money, you don't get me. Or wait, you're actually going to ghost me like that? Make them feel bad about not having money, seeing that everyone else can support them and give her what she's been asking, but you can't. So with that, you're making it playful while they're expecting any sort of rebuttal or angry, upset person, which surprises them, thus driving more curiosity. On to the next, advanced, which is reversing the frame. So a great way to handle price resistance, which is probably the most common objection that we get in chatting, is flipping the focus. So let's say someone just objected on the price of $75. You could say that, this one guy tipped $75 just to guess what color my lingerie was, right? Something like that. You're creating, and what you're doing in this situation is you're anchoring the value by referencing other people and other subs' behavior, which triggers a stingent of FOMO, triggers a want of need for that model, and also makes them feel bad about themselves not being able to do what the model wants them to do. Another way to do this is saying something like, I shouldn't say this, but I've only shown this to 2 guys ever. Even if it's your most sold script, saying something like this will create an act of FOMO and want around whatever piece of content that you're selling. Even if they don't believe it 100%, they will feel chosen and they will have some sort of personal feeling that goes on with them, making them want to buy more. And that alone makes the content more valuable, therefore leading to them being able to sell it for more. So soft deadlines, if they're not objecting and if they're stalling, you could say, I'm closing it in 15 minutes though, I'm being cheeky, but for real law. Things like this. Again, scarcity, humor, and reliability, using all three will make your chatting way better. Final tip, never force a close. I want you to guide, tease, and then back off if and when needed. Objection handling is about making the sub feel in control while you are setting the tone and who is the person actually leading the conversation. All right, I had to throw on the glasses. My eyes were getting a little tired, but part 7, which is script creation and message structuring. With this, I want you to understand that scripts are the back end of your scalable chatting system. If you don't have scripts, you don't have content to sell, thus not leading to money being generated. So with that being said, a lot of people do think that scripts equal just copy and paste the same thing over and over again. Wrong. A script is a structure and not a sentence. This has folds, this has parts. There is reason behind each video, how it's made, and also when and why it's sent. Think of scripts as frameworks you can flow through, not robotic lines that your chatters need to be repeating. The best chatters use scripts like jazz musicians do. If you don't know how they work, what they do is just riff and adjust to whatever music is playing that the band is associated, and you need to do the same with the chatting. They riff on it with rhythm and feel. They don't base it the same thing, the same time, and the same words every single time. It is different, but it is the same kind of structure and flow that you're going to get. So to give y'all some free script types, I've wrote out a couple right here. You need to have in your agency a welcome and intro script. This is to gain info, so like name, job, payday, things like this that are important when noting the chatter. teaser loop script. So this is used before a PPV drop to build the tension. A push-pull script for shifting energy, pulling away, or teasing, which creates a lot more want around your model. A high-ticket PPV script. So when you're about to drop a $50 to $100 plus offer, warming, prep talk, pre-send affirmations, things like, if I make this for you, don't leave before I finish, things like that. A objection handling script, so for when they stall, hesitate, or say maybe later. A post-sale re-engagement script, so you can keep the lifetime value high and not have a bunch of ghost buyers. And then lastly, a mass message script, which is optional because I personally don't love it, but if used, it should feel personal, not spammy, not like a bundle, and only used to spark conversations with these fans. Also, I will say, with scripts, this is just for chatting purposes, scripts as in messages. When it comes to videos and PPVs, those also need scripts, storylines, and timelines that make sense accordingly. So how do we build said script? What we're gonna do is we're gonna start casual, not looking for anything of a transactional relationship, just very casual. Then we're gonna build the personal connection. This comes with rapport. Then we're shifting the schedule into a sexual kind of chatting. And then after that, dropping the PPV with strong framing, tease, don't describe, follow up if no purchase, and then tease or pull away. The message flow should feel earned, not forced. You're simulating a real combo with playful direction. You should also have a funnel for every outcome. So what I mean by this is if a fan says they're tired, funnel the tired script, right? You should have response objection handling for every sort of common objection that fans will have that your chatters can play out. Again, if the fan says they're broke, your chatter should immediately know what to say because you should provide them with a funnel broke handling script, and then so on and so forth for all of the objections. A script framework breakdown is this. It's a simple formula you can use for almost any situation, is to hook them, tease them, pull them, and then drop the PPV, wait for the sale, reinforce, and then re-engage back into more. If you only remember one thing from this whole entire course that we've gone through, let it be that. That alone will change your chatting results overnight if you can remember and genuinely input that hook, tease, pull, drop PPV, reinforce, re-engage, and repeat. If you can genuinely incorporate that into what you're doing now, you will be a more successful chatter than you were before seeing this video. So for example, just to show you how complicated and thought out processes our scripts had, this is a screenshot of one of our original script planning and strategies. I now, however, recommend storing actual scripts with PPVs and how-tos with scripts inside of Notion or Monday.com for a cleaner storage. But as far as the text and objection handling goes when chatting, this was a great Miro board for us to have, and I super am appreciative of my ex-partner who built it. But final words and how to level up. If you've made it this far, I want to let you know that you are ahead of 99% of chatters and agency owners already. This doc alone is enough to 2 to 3x the revenue of a model if implemented properly and correctly. But if you do not know how to train these chatters well, if your backend isn't organized, or if you just want help scaling faster without guessing throughout everything, Unity Link wasn't originally, but is now built for you. Whether it's scripts, funnels, hiring, or scaling up, we've of course got it dialed. We've been a 7-figure agency for over 3 months now, and we want to lock in everyone that we think has a good work ethic and actually wants to do something with OFM. So with that being said, join the free Telegram, get the real stuff, and tap in with a team, Unity Link, my personal agency, who actually does this and doesn't just preach it. This right here is a screenshot of every description in every single one of my YouTube videos. The description below this video will be the exact same. This free agency consultation, you can fill out a form, apply, and after that, my team will get in contact with you. I will give you a free agency consultation, talk about it, chat about it, what your problems are, how can you work on it, things like that. My Telegram community is the second link. It has over 500 founders in it, super great, and one of the best places to start if you're a beginner, of course. And then lastly, that application to partner with my agency. And of course, DM me on Instagram if you have any more specific questions. I will say I'm not going to answer DMs if you do not follow me. That's kind of fucked up, but whatever. In the end, I appreciate you all for watching the full course. It means the world to me. I really do appreciate everything that you guys do for me as far as my community, liking the videos, being supportive. But like I said, if you did enjoy the video, leave a like, leave a comment if you have any questions that you want answered. I do have a recommend going into the Telegram group to ask longer and more detailed questions. But if you did enjoy the video, awesome. Smash that like button, kind of 2016 YouTube sort of thing. Either way, it's been Griffin, and peace out.